Good evening from the Kenner 18 Scale RC Warbird Workshop. This evening, yes, it's me here. I'm going to talk about replacing the factory CA hinges on this Hanger 9 30cc Spitfire. The left aileron, the hinges, the CA hinges just fatigued and tore, and the aileron flew off during flight. And I managed to get it down safely. This is Spitfire I retrieved at the field. It was had a crash by another modeler, and I rebuilt it, got it flying, and it's a nice flyer. So I'll just show you how I started. I'm going to use these Dubro flat hinges, and of course I'm using the music wire on a whole hinge length. Again, I put a little dab of Vaseline on the hinge, and I run the heat gun over it a bit. And that wicks the Vaseline into the hinge. Bend it around a few times. And that's just to keep the hinge from sticking, you know, once you put the adhesive in the hinge hole. It was quite the chore to, you know, recut the holes for the hinge on the aileron, and especially on the trailing edge of the wing, because, you know, looks like those hinges might have come loose at one time, and there seems like multiple times the adhesive was put in there to hold them in. So there's a lot of old CA and a lot of glue to dig through. And there, and you can see what the hinge is like back in there. You can see I was able to dig out some pieces of the CA hinge out there, you know. These cloth hinges were good for smaller airplanes, but on gas warbirds, I seem to find that they tear after a few years. And to get the hinges put in, I dig out my box of hinging tools. You know, there's these, use these ones for try cutting through. I use my Dremel with a cutting wheel on it, you know, the old standby, the old Great Pains hinge slaughter, and you made this little handle dowel for this little X-Acto knife saw. World famous helicopter pilot Ray put me onto these they're kind of like arrowhead tools for pushing in the trailing edge and cutting in a new slot, eh? And so, like they say, there's the right tool for the job. So when you have an assortment of tools, it makes the job easier and makes it going, you know. Over the years, you collect these different tools, you get them set. Interesting about this Spitfire hinge, you sort of have to have the hinge lying back so that you can get the hinges in. Otherwise, if you try to put it straight in, it doesn't want to fit that well. And let's keep working at it here. Hinge on the corner. There, we got it back in. We'll probably glue it in with some excuse me, 5-minute epoxy. Some of the places where there's a bit of a bigger pocket, I might mix up the 5-minute epoxy with some microballoons or milled fiberglass, just to fill in that void and let the hinges grab better. The day started off great. We had our informal club breakfast. Meet over down at the Anovets, and we sit around and chat about airplanes and aviation. You know, great bunch of guys. Don't seem to have any crickets in the club so far, which is great. So it's been a wonderful day, and it's almost clocking close to 7:30. I got the Jets Capitals game taping on the PVR, so it's almost time to close down the workshop and go watch some hockey. Cheers from the workshop. Keep building.